OSHA 10 Mock Test 2026 Part 440 Questions Answers. Question 1. How often must portable fire extinguishers undergo a quick visual inspection to ensure they are fully charged and accessible? Option A, daily. Option B, weekly. Option C, monthly. Option D, annually. The correct answer is option C, monthly. OSHA requires a visual inspection of portable fire extinguishers at least once a month to ensure they are in their designated places, not blocked, and fully pressurized. Question 2. When erecting scaffolding, what must be placed under the scaffold legs to prevent them from sinking into dirt or asphalt? Option A, wooden pallets. Option B, base plates and mud sills. Option C, cardboard blocks. Option D, concrete cinder blocks. The correct answer is option B, base plates and mud sills. To ensure a stable foundation, scaffold legs, posts, frames, and uprights must bear on base plates and mud sills, or another adequate firm foundation. Question 3. In soil classification for trenching, which type of soil is considered the least stable and most dangerous? Option A, Type A. Option B, Type B. Option C, Type C. Option D, solid rock. The correct answer is option C, Type C. Type C soil, like gravel, sand, or submerged soil, is the least stable. It requires the most substantial sloping, 1.5 to 1, or robust shoring to protect workers from cave-ins. Question 4. Which GHS-com pictogram depicts a liquid dripping from two glass test tubes onto a piece of metal and a hand? Option A, toxicity. Option B, corrosion. Option C, oxidizer. Option D, irritant. The correct answer is option B, corrosion. The corrosive pictogram indicates that the chemical can cause severe skin burns, eye damage, or is corrosive to metals. Question 5. What is the proper technique for inserting foam earplugs? Option A, push them in as hard as you can with one finger. Option B, roll them into a tight cylinder, pull the top of your ear up and back, and insert. Option C, lick them first, then press them into the ear canal. Option D, fold them in half and insert them. The correct answer is option B, roll them into a tight cylinder, pull the top of your ear up and back, and insert. To get a proper seal, foam earplugs must be rolled tightly. Pulling the pinna, top of the ear, up and back straightens the ear canal, allowing the plug to expand and block noise effectively. Question 6. What must happen if a worker leaves their lockout/tagout, LOTO, lock on a machine at the end of their shift, and the next shift needs to use it? Option A, the new shift cuts it off immediately. Option B, the supervisor picks the lock. Option C, specific shift change or emergency removal procedures must be strictly followed and documented. Option D, they leave the lock and work on another machine. The correct answer is option C, specific shift change or emergency removal procedures must be strictly followed and documented. If the worker who applied the lock is not available, the lock can only be removed under strict, documented employer procedures, which include verifying the worker is not on-site and informing them before they return. Question 7. How should contaminated laundry, like bloody scrubs or towels, be handled in a healthcare setting? Option A, handled as little as possible, bagged at the location of use, and placed in color-coded or labeled bags. Option B, taken home by the employee to be washed in hot water. Option C, thrown in the regular trash. Option D, washed by hand in the break room sink. The correct answer is option A, handled as little as possible, bagged at the location of use, and placed in color-coded or labeled bags. Contaminated laundry must be handled as little as possible, not sorted or rinsed in the area of use, and must be placed in labeled or red color-coded bags or containers. Question 8. When setting up a computer workstation ergonomically, where should the top of the monitor screen be positioned? Option A, at or slightly below eye level. Option B, at chin level. Option C, above the head. Option D, to the far left or right of the keyboard. The correct answer is option A, at or slightly below eye level. Positioning the top of the monitor at or slightly below eye level allows the user to view the screen without excessively bending their neck up or down, preventing neck strain. Question 9. On a bench grinder, the work rest must be adjusted to keep the gap between the rest and the abrasive wheel at no more than what distance? Option A, 1/8 inch. Option B, 1/4 inch. Option C, 1/2 inch. Option D, 1 inch. The correct answer is option A, 1/8 inch. The work rest must be kept adjusted closely to the wheel with a maximum opening of 1/8 inch to prevent the work piece from being jammed between the wheel and the rest, which could shatter the wheel. Question 10. On a bench grinder, what is the maximum allowable distance between the adjustable tongue guard, spark arrestor, and the abrasive wheel? Option A, 1/8 inch. Option B, 1/4 inch. Option C, 1/2 inch. Option D, 1 inch. The correct answer is option B, 1/4 inch. The tongue guard must be adjusted to within 1/4 inch of the wheel to deflect sparks and contain pieces of the wheel if it happens to break or shatter during use. Question 11. What is a critical safety rule regarding the top step of a portable stepladder? Option A. You can only stand on it if you have perfect balance. Option B. You may sit on it, but not stand on it. Option C. Never use the top step or top cap as a step. Option D. You can stand on it if someone is holding the bottom. The correct answer is option C. Never use the top step or top cap as a step. OSHA strictly prohibits standing or stepping on the top cap or the top step of a stepladder because it severely compromises the worker's balance and the ladder's stability. Question 12. Why should wooden ladders never be painted with an opaque, solid color, paint? Option A. It makes the ladder too slippery. Option B. Paint chemicals degrade the wood instantly. Option C. The paint can hide structural defects like cracks and splits. Option D. OSHA requires all ladders to be metal. The correct answer is option C. The paint can hide structural defects like cracks and splits. Wooden ladders must not be coated with any opaque covering, except for identification/warning labels on one face of a side rail, because paint can conceal dangerous cracks, rot, or defects. Question 13. When storing compressed gas cylinders, how must they be positioned? Option A. Laying flat on the ground. Option B. Stacked on top of each other. Option C. Upright and secured with a chain or strap to prevent falling. Option D. Leaning against a wall unsecured. The correct answer is option C. Upright and secured with a chain or strap to prevent falling. Compressed gas cylinders must be stored upright and secured, example, chained to a wall or in a proper cart, to prevent them from tipping over and breaking their valves. Question 14. When transferring flammable liquids from one metal container to another, what process must be used to prevent static electricity sparks? Option A. Heating and cooling. Option B. Bonding and grounding. Option C. Washing and drying. Option D. Shaking and stirring. The correct answer is option B. Bonding and grounding. Bonding connects the two containers with a wire, and grounding connects one container to the earth. This neutralizes static electricity buildup that could spark and ignite the flammable vapors. Question 15. When testing the atmosphere of a confined space before entry, in what order must the tests be conducted? Option A. Toxics, combustibles, oxygen. Option B. Oxygen, combustibles, toxics. Option C. Combustibles, oxygen, toxics. Option D. Toxics, oxygen, combustibles. The correct answer is option B. Oxygen, combustibles, toxics. You must test for oxygen first, because most combustible meters need oxygen to work properly, then combustible gases, and finally toxic gases. Question 16. Inside a hard hat, what is the purpose of the suspension system, the straps that rest on the head? Option A. To keep the worker's head warm. Option B. To absorb and distribute the shock of an impact. Option C. To provide a place to store small tools. Option D. To make the hard hat look stylish. The correct answer is option B. To absorb and distribute the shock of an impact. The suspension system is a critical safety feature. It creates a gap between the shell and the skull, absorbing and distributing the force of an impact over a wider area. Question 17. If a forklift operator is carrying a large, bulky load that blocks their forward vision, what should they do? Option A. Drive forward very slowly while leaning out the side. Option B. Have a coworker sit on the load to guide them. Option C. Drive the forklift in reverse so they can see where they are going. Option D. Lift the load entirely above their line of sight and drive forward. The correct answer is option C. Drive the forklift in reverse so they can see where they are going. If the load obstructs the operator's forward view, OSHA requires the operator to travel with the load trailing, drive in reverse, keeping a clear view of the path of travel. Question 18. When inspecting hand tools, a chisel with a mushroomed head is found. What is the hazard, and what should be done? Option A. It is perfectly safe, do nothing. Option B. The mushroomed edges can splinter off like shrapnel when struck. The tool must be dressed/ground down or replaced. Option C. It means the chisel is fully broken in, keep using it. Option D. It creates an electrical shock hazard, wrap it in tape. The correct answer is option B. The mushroomed edges can splinter off like shrapnel when struck. The tool must be dressed/ground down or replaced. Impact tools like chisels or wedges with mushroomed heads are extremely dangerous. When struck, metal fragments can shear off at high speeds and cause severe eye or body injuries. Question 19. What is a cheater bar in hand tool safety, and is its use permitted? Option A. A specialized wrench. Yes, it is permitted. Option B. A length of pipe placed over a wrench handle to increase leverage. No, it is unsafe and can break the tool. Option C. A heavy hammer. Yes, it is permitted. Option D. A software program. No, it is illegal. The correct answer is option B. A length of pipe placed over a wrench handle to increase leverage. No, it is unsafe and can break the tool. Using a cheater bar, a pipe slipped over a wrench handle, applies excessive torque that the tool wasn't designed for, which can cause the tool to snap violently and injure the worker. Question 20. What does a square within a square symbol on an electrical hand tool indicate? Option A. The tool requires a grounded outlet. Option B. The tool is double insulated and does not require a third grounding prong. Option C. The tool is waterproof. Option D. The tool runs on batteries only. The correct answer is option B. The tool is double insulated and does not require a third grounding prong. The double square symbol indicates the tool is double insulated. It has internal insulation that protects the user from electrical shock, so it only requires a two-prong plug. Question 21. In bloodborne pathogens training, what does OPIM stand for? Option A. Occupational protection in manufacturing. Option B. Other potentially infectious materials. Option C. Office protocols for internal medicine. Option D. Overprescribed intravenous medications. The correct answer is option B. Other potentially infectious materials. OPIM stands for Other Potentially Infectious Materials, which includes semen, vaginal secretions, cerebrospinal fluid, and any body fluid that is visibly contaminated with blood. Question 22. According to the ANSI Z308.1 standard for workplace first aid kits, who is responsible for ensuring the kit remains fully stocked? Option A. OSHA inspectors. Option B. The employer. Option C. The first injured employee. Option D. The local fire department. The correct answer is option B. The employer. The employer is responsible for evaluating the hazards in their workplace, providing the appropriately sized first aid kit, and ensuring it is regularly inspected and replenished. Question 23. Alloy steel chain slings used for overhead lifting must have an identification tag affixed to them. What information must be on this tag? Option A. The manufacturer's home address. Option B. The price of the sling. Option C. Size, grade, rated capacity, and reach. Option D. The crane operator's name. The correct answer is option C. Size, grade, rated capacity, and reach. OSHA requires alloy steel chain slings to have permanently affixed identification stating size, grade, rated capacity, and reach. If the tag is missing or illegible, the sling must be removed from service. Question 24. Using vibrating power tools continuously for long periods can lead to which ergonomic occupational illness? Option A. Silicosis. Option B. White finger, Raynaud syndrome. Option C. Mesothelioma. Option D. Tetanus. The correct answer is option B. White finger, Raynaud syndrome. Hand-arm vibration syndrome, HAVS, often called white finger, is caused by continuous use of vibrating hand tools, which damages blood vessels and nerves in the fingers. Question 25. What is acclimatization in the context of working in hot environments? Option A. Drinking ice water rapidly. Option B. The body's gradual physiological adaptation to working in the heat over 7 to 14 days. Option C. Wearing heavy clothing to sweat out toxins. Option D. Sitting in an air-conditioned room all day. The correct answer is option B. The body's gradual physiological adaptation to working in the heat over 7 to 14 days. Acclimatization is a biological process where the body adapts to heat stress, improving sweating efficiency and heart rate. Employers must gradually increase workloads for new workers in hot environments. Question 26. Which heat-related illness is a severe, life-threatening medical emergency characterized by a lack of sweating, confusion, and hot, red, dry skin? Option A, heat rash. Option B, heat cramps. Option C, heat exhaustion. Option D, heat stroke. The correct answer is option D, heat stroke. Heat stroke occurs when the body's temperature regulation fails. Sweating stops, body temperature spikes to dangerous levels, and the victim requires immediate emergency medical care. Question 27. Working in wet, cold environments in tight boots for prolonged periods without allowing the feet to dry can lead to which condition? Option A, heat cramps. Option B, trench foot, immersion foot. Option C, carpal tunnel syndrome. Option D, sunburn. The correct answer is option B, trench foot, immersion foot. Trench foot is a non-freezing cold injury caused by prolonged exposure to wet and cold conditions. It causes tissue damage due to constricted blood vessels and requires dry footwear to prevent. Question 28. When using scaffolding, what is the maximum allowable gap between the front edge of the scaffold platform and the face of the work/building? Option A, 6 inches. Option B, 14 inches. Option C, 24 inches. Option D, 36 inches. The correct answer is option B, 14 inches. To prevent workers and tools from falling between the scaffold and the building, the front edge of all platforms must be no more than 14 inches from the face of the work. Question 29. How often must an employee undergo a formal respirator fit test, using a hood/smoke or machine, after their initial test? Option A, every 6 months. Option B, annually, every 12 months. Option C, every 3 years. Option D, only if they buy a new respirator. The correct answer is option B, annually, every 12 months. OSHA Standard 1910.134 requires that fit testing for tight-fitting respirators be conducted prior to initial use, whenever a different respirator is used, and at least annually thereafter. Question 30. Before moving a compressed gas cylinder, what must the worker do to the valve assembly? Option A, attach the welding hose. Option B, leave the regulator attached and carry it by the regulator. Option C, remove the regulator and install the protective valve cap. Option D, cover it with a plastic bag. The correct answer is option C, remove the regulator and install the protective valve cap. Regulators must be removed and the heavy metal valve protection cap must be securely screwed in place before a cylinder is moved to protect the fragile valve from snapping off. Question 31. In the construction industry, workers are frequently exposed to hazardous lead dust when performing which task? Option A, pouring new concrete foundations. Option B, installing fiberglass insulation. Option C, abrasive blasting, sanding, or torch cutting steel structures coated with old paint. Option D, digging trenches in clay soil. The correct answer is option C, abrasive blasting, sanding, or torch cutting steel structures coated with old paint. Lead was historically used in anti-corrosive paints on bridges, ships, and steel structures. Disturbing this old paint through blasting, sanding, or heating releases highly toxic lead dust and fumes. Question 32. When cutting concrete or masonry blocks, what is the most effective engineering control to prevent workers from inhaling silica dust? Option A, telling workers to hold their breath. Option B, using a wet cutting method, water delivery system, to suppress the dust at the source. Option C, providing paper surgical masks. Option D, sweeping up the dust after cutting. The correct answer is option B, using a wet cutting method, water delivery system, to suppress the dust at the source. Wet cutting systems apply a continuous stream of water directly to the cutting blade, binding the silica particles together so they fall to the ground instead of becoming airborne dust. Question 33. When safety nets are used as fall protection, they must be installed as close as practicable under the walking/working surface, but never more than how many feet below such level? Option A, 10 feet. Option B, 20 feet. Option C, 30 feet. Option D, 50 feet. The correct answer is option C, 30 feet. OSHA limits the placement of safety nets to a maximum of 30 feet below the working surface to limit the fall distance and the impact force when a worker lands in the net. Question 34. How frequently must a crane be inspected by a competent person? Option A, prior to each shift. Option B, once a week. Option C, once a month. Option D, once a year. The correct answer is option A, prior to each shift. OSHA requires a competent person to conduct a visual inspection of crane equipment prior to each shift during which the equipment will be used, to identify any deficiencies. Question 35. How long must an employer keep the OSHA 300 log, the privacy case list, the annual summary, and the OSHA 301 incident report forms on file? Option A, 1 year, Option B, 3 years, Option C, 5 years, Option D, 10 years. The correct answer is Option C, 5 years. Employers must save the OSHA 300 log, the privacy case list, if one exists, the annual summary, and the OSHA 301 incident report forms for 5 years following the end of the calendar year that these records cover.